BlameAntix, a pop culture podcast.
Hello and welcome to Quality Couch Antics. I am the koala, and we are here today and for another month of pop culture talk. We've got Antix here. How you going, Antix?
I am exhausted and tired. It is too early in the morning.
Yes, and I am also a very tired koala. It's been a long day. And we've also got Sam Dance Couch. How are you two doing?
Hello.
Hello.
You're good.
I'm very tired. It's the afternoon.
Yes, we're all tired. At all hours of the day, we're tired. And that's totally fine. Alrighty. So we're going to start off as per usual with our usual things of what we've been watching, playing, and listening. So we'll start it off with Antix. What have you been doing this past month?
Well, there hasn't really been that much that's come out. Not a game that has been, addictive or consuming my entire life. Hasn't been the literal only game I play for hours on end till 3 in the morning. No, not at all. Yeah, Pokopia has definitely not consumed my life and every waking moment, every hour of the day until 3 in the bloody morning. Nope, not at all. It's not addicting.
You sure?
It's not addicting, I swear.
Mm-hmm. I totally wasn't up till 5 o'clock in the morning playing. No, not at all. Never happened.
Oh, boy.
It's not addicting, I swear.
Uh-huh. So you have been playing Pokopia.
This game, oh my god. As much as I love the other games, they're kind of like more or less one and done. Maybe air riders for all the events and all that. This is the next Animal Crossing that will keep you playing every single day for 1,000 hours. It is that addicting.
Wow.
I think it's not even just about the game. It's also about the possibilities.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It has like the most beautiful story. Like this story is so adorable and so also a little bit sad, but it is, it's like both, and it's Pokemon. So you wouldn't think it would have like a sensitive story, but it actually does. So between the storyline, which is awesome to play, and just the creative possibilities of it, it's addictive.
My social media feed has been flooded with people who either have not gone to work in 3 weeks or I don't understand the brain power that they have to be able to do some of these builds that I'm seeing.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I literally just finished the story mode and I'm like, wow, my town is complete scattershot ugly at the moment. I need to get working on making this look good.
I think also too, it's the most beautiful combination of Animal Crossing and Minecraft, where you have a block system where you can totally take individual blocks, build anything your little brain can think of, or you have prefabbed homes where you can put down, you have furniture, you can decorate the inside of the prefab homes. And it has that Animal Crossing vibe where you just have this beautiful house to decorate, with the exception that it has better houses than Animal Crossing.
I would hope so, considering it's been 6 years since Animal Crossing came out.
And the cutest little Pokemon who can move in with you. You can kidnap them and force them to live with you.
And then sometimes you get a surprise when you're cuddling in bed with one of them.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Sometimes when you wake up, sometimes they're in bed with you. Like, the sleeping animation they usually have. But sometimes, depending on who's sleeping with you, it's a little bit awkward.
It is a little weird when you're like laying in the bed and all of a sudden there's a giant dragon just like sitting on your head and you're like, oh!
It's literally as the game opens up when you start a new day. So it's just like, oh, hi, when did you get here? It's just like a big cat sitting in your bed or something, except they can breathe fire.
Right.
Some of the Pokemon are a little inappropriate. It's just what it is, you know. Maybe if you don't know any better, you know, personal space and all. Like,
I mean, they're not really domesticated animal creatures, I should
In
say.
this set
So
world, technically, I guess.
I mean, they're smart enough to tell us
They're
they
all
hate
wild.
us. So,
True.
which they do. So,
in Pocopia?
Yep.
yeah.
Yes, Koala.
Okay.
This game brought back the NPCs that hate your guts if you do mean stuff to them. If you steal from these Pokemon's homes, even if it's just like, oh, I'm going to take these blocks and move them over to here so it's a little bit more pretty or it makes sense. You stole my blocks. Where did my house go?
Oh boy.
If you vomit on them, they will yell at you.
Sam, a little context, please.
You mean water?
Okay, to be fair, it's not just water. Okay? You vomit water, you vomit mud, you vomit all of your items. Okay? There's no contextual thing to this. Everything comes out of your mouth.
So it's Kirby.
It really is. I mean, Dragon Quest Builders.
It's a Kirby mechanic.
Dragon Quest Builders, which is like this similar developers. Some of the developers on that work are the ones that worked on this alongside Game Freak. But with that one, it's literally you just pull blocks out of your pocket and then you just make the rooms and everything, and you can see where it builds off of that. But the NPCs in there don't really have much personality besides this main story. This one, every Pokemon has a personality because they don't evolve or anything. And you get one of each out of the entire roster that's available. So they all have their own unique personalities related to their lore and everything.
Okay. Interesting. And that's why you end up getting the evolution version of some of the Pokemon already, you know, they come up even though you have the pre-existing one.
Yeah, exactly. There's no trainers in this world. There's no humans at all.
Yeah, well,
and
that you know of.
Well, story mode, you figure that out on your own if you get to the end. But it actually makes sense because typically, I mean, evolution can happen on its own, but normally it's the bond between trainer and Pokemon that helps them grow and experience. So it takes a lot longer, lore-wise, for them to evolve.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You mean it's the abuse between trainer and Pokemon that
whatever
forces
you
them
want to
to
call it.
evolve? Locking them in a tiny little ball and forcing them to fight like it's like some sort of illegal fighting ring. Yes, that's
And now we lock them in a tiny little 5-foot cave.
No, it's truly a wonderful freaking game. Like,
it really is.
You know, I mean, as we have joked and discussed about before, like poor Daniel can't play it because I have stolen the Switch. And he is not allowed to have it right now.
So Daniel is in the same situation as me right now.
That's true, yes.
He doesn't have a Switch too.
Technically.
It practically feels like I don't have a Switch too, yes.
You don't need it.
What have you been playing in the meantime, Daniel, since you don't have a Switch 2?
Since I lost the rights to my Switch 2, I've been knee-deep playing my PlayStation 5 Pro. And, of course, I have played Resident Evil Requiem, which is so beautiful and really awesome. And I heard you got it too now, Antonio. Right?
Yes, that is coming in the mail. I actually managed to get that for only $50 instead of the normal $70.
Oh, that's a great deal.
And kind of amazing considering the print copies are completely gone worldwide.
Yes. It was very hard to get a print copy of it.
Yeah.
I actually had to get the deluxe version because the regular version was sold out. And even Amazon started to upprice the...
Yep.
Topic in a little bit.
I know.
To continue
But it was just, you're so used to companies uppricing, but Amazon itself, I'm like, But I wanted it.
Interesting.
It's a great game, and it has been a lot of fun.
The audio on that game
Oh, the audio is
Oh,
awesome.
the sounds, the slip, and like the sounds of like zombies eating things, and
Just imagine the voiceover people like recording all this stuff. How
I'm
much
just
fun they had.
imagining what's happening in the couch house right now. Pocopia sounds, cute and cuddly, Pikachu! And then on the other side of the house, rah, 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 rah.
Exactly.
literally, like you open up the door to the living room and you hear, and you're like, oh, what is that? Daniel's like, shh, we're sneaking past it.
I can't wait for Antonio to get to a certain spot in the game.
Let me guess, it's going to be spiders or snakes, isn't it?
We're not telling you.
We're not telling you.
Okay, yep, okay. Thanks for the confirmation.
Well, I can say I'm not playing Resident Evil Requiem, but I have seen people play it on stream, and I can definitely understand the sound quality. So the sound design must have been like, it's definitely really cool to hear certain things in the game that is meant for it, with the zombies and all that sort of stuff. And then the motion capture that they've done with the characters as well. Like a lot of people have been praising the actual actors who have done the motion capture stuff for those characters, was it Grace and Leon especially. And apparently the way that those stories kind of intertwine in a way, and the fact that you can change between different perspectives with those characters as well. So visually, for those of you who enjoy it, it must be really great. How is it on the PS5 Pro?
Oh, it's finally like using all the extra power the Pro has, especially with the ray tracing and the lighting. This time it's not all about reflections, it's like about light. And you know how horror always works with darkness and shadows. So this comes over way more realistically. And they even designed the game for it, where you have like a certain monster, not to spoil anything, but monsters hate the light, certain ones of them especially. So your only safe spot is like light. So the play between light areas and dark areas comes out even better with all the new lighting features the Pro can do. The only downside is you got all these pretty add-ons for the PlayStation 5 Pro, and then they broke it. Like 5 days later, they turned off ray tracing in the city area, Raccoon City, because people kept bitching because something looked off to them. And instead of fixing it, Capcom decided to just turn it off in certain areas, which wasn't in the original version.
That's odd.
So I guess eventually they might go back to it, but it was just like a quick fix. Like, oh, this looks a little like fizzly. People are complaining about it, so we just hit the off switch. So the middle part of the game actually looks like the regular PlayStation.
Pro is worth an upgrade with this game. Like, we're finally starting to see. I mean, the Pro came out like what, a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that this is finally an actual worthwhile excuse to upgrade to it? Because so far from what I've seen, there's barely any kind of a difference unless you really zoom in.
Yeah, that has been like the big discussion online about people being completely anti-Pro, and people having it. And I always thought it was already worth it for a lot of games. Like, I was also playing a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and that gives you quality mode at 60 frames per second. So you get the pretty graphics and a way more fluent gameplay. Well, you can get the pretty graphics on PlayStation 5 regular, but then you're stuck at 30 frames per second. If you don't care about that, of course, then it's like whatever. But it's just more responsive, and you don't have to like downgrade to get more fluent gameplay.
Because for the most part, what I've seen is the benefits of that are the frame rates and the storage. Because the majority of the comparisons I've seen from the game so far until Resident Evil have been the graphics are almost non-existent unless you zoom in, but everything else is good. The price tag, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely worth it if you have a 4K TV. If you're like not 4K yet, then you might not see it. You might still get, 60 frames per second, which would still be worth it to me. But
I also think with the new PSSR update that it has I think it's changed that spectrum a lot, because it's upgraded not just the recent games, but older games as well. And it is a not maybe eye-popping difference where you're like, oh my God, this is a brand new game, but where you can see the value of the upgraded graphics in the PS Pro versus the base model, especially since we have both.
Okay.
yeah.
So you're saying if they tied it closer together, the Pro wouldn't have had such a negative response out the gate, probably?
Probably, yeah. And you're right, Resident Evil 9 Requiem is like the first game who actually takes like the next step of the extra hardware features the Pro has, which is better ray tracing, which is very technical, but they actually enhanced it a lot. Nobody else really took advantage of it yet, because it's like they need to write an extra code for the Pro.
Yeah.
And they're like, the user base is smaller, it runs on the Pro as well. You're going to do a little higher resolution, and then that's it. But Capcom went in, used that extra ray tracing power, and it really shows. I enjoy it a lot. And, this is like going forward now with Crimson Desert being out, which I will get around Eastern. That also has like all the extra horsepower coming from the Pro. So yeah, I think we will see more and more games that take full advantage of the Pro, and yeah, I think it's worth it, definitely.
Okay.
Interesting.
What's Cole
All
been
right,
up to?
cool. Me? I've been busy working, traveling for work and all that sort of stuff.
Kinds.
Yeah, the life sim,
The job simulator.
No, so I have actually been, playing maybe a couple of games. I haven't really had much time to play at all, to be honest. The two main games that I have been sort of dabbling in, one that I've been playing on stream is Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door.
Yes.
I'm now I think I'm getting towards the end of chapter 6, or I'm in the middle of chapter 6. I'm not quite sure. I've just gotten off the XS Express, as they call it. Made it to, was it Poshley Heights?
Poshley Heights.
That's as far as I've gotten so far in that game. And I'm just going to say it's one of those games where I just want it finished now.
Coral is in The Believer. The best Paper Mario game, and Coral is in The Believer.
Look, here's the thing. My first Paper Mario game was Origami King.
I'm so sorry.
And
I apologize for that.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
The visuals are amazing.
Fun.
The ring system can go die in a fire.
Look, the ring system, that battle system, it was a little weird, but it wasn't terrible. I didn't mind it.
Terrible.
It did get a little challenging at times, but it was fine.
If they had that combat system, but used the original Paper Mario battle system and a 3D ring environment, it would have been perfect. And actually give you partners that actually you can control, instead of just, I feel like attacking now. By the way, here's a bunch of coins that you can get for free and skip the battle.
I also think it dilutes the experience of Paper Mario and Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door, because you get used to the look of the Origami King, and you don't get to experience the magic of the first two games first, and then it takes away from the magic of the first two games. So therefore, they don't feel as great because you played Origami King first.
Well, here's the thing. Aside from the main battle mechanics, I think I enjoyed the story more in Origami King compared to the story in 1,000-Year Door. That's probably why I'm a bit meh about it at the moment. And I just want it to be over.
They need to be gone.
The anger Koala had towards that floating skull pirate,
Oh my
man.
god.
Oh, you have no idea. I was losing my shit. I did not know what else to do. So that's why I rage quit it at the time, because I'm like, I need a break. Otherwise, I'm going to go nuts if I keep going at it and not being able to figure it out. And so when I got into streaming it in the past stream that I just did, I managed to kill it in one session, thankfully, rather than multiple.
There's a reason that
one battle was enough.
Is outside the boss room. I'm just gonna say.
So yeah, I'm ready for this game to be over so that I can move on.
Aw.
I'm sorry. It's a cool Paper Mario game. I feel like it's just taking forever to get through. I think that the game is just really, really long, and I think for me it's outstaying its welcome, and that's why I'm like, I just want it to be done.
So in other words, Super Paper Mario is not a game for a koala because it's a completely different battle system.
I don't know,
but it is very long, but it has a pretty story.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe the story will hit me more than Thousand Year Door. Who knows?
That's the story that caused the Paper Mario series to go back to basics, and by that I mean have absolutely no story at all until people complained.
Well, I'm just gonna have to experience it to find out for myself.
In that
I guess.
one, apparently.
So yeah, I've been playing that, and another game that I started up thanks to my work trip, because I was able to take it with me on my Switch, was for a game called Kato Buttered Cat. And this is a little indie game that I bought. And it's actually a puzzle platformer game. It's really cute. It's a lot of fun. It takes the cat and buttered toast paradox to this like really cool sort of 2D puzzle platformer. And it's essentially the whole idea of if a cat can land on all fours, right? And buttered toast always lands buttered side up, right? And if you put those two together, where the toast is butter side up on the back of a cat, you can do infinite jumps.
Why are we buttering cats?
And these are two different characters, quote unquote, that you control in the game. So you have to figure out, there's like different levels that you have to figure the puzzles out for. And your cat can't jump. It can only climb up certain types of walls, and it can maneuver left and right. It cannot jump unless the toast is on its back. And
the cat needs to be buttered to jump?
As the resident kid noter here, I'm not buttering Orion so he can jump even higher than he already can. And Morgan's just going to watch the calamity of her brother slipping on toast, apparently.
And then the toast itself, it can just sort of like hop to search, like you can hop left and right, right? That's kind of how the toast works. And then when they come together, the toast will sit on top of the cat with buttered side up, and then you can maneuver properly. And yeah, it's cute. It's fun. The puzzles aren't too difficult. They're actually, pretty simple once you figure out what you need to do. There is like a little bit of a hint system if you need it. But it's not one of those obvious kind of hint systems. It's more of this is like, it shows you kind of an outline of where the cat and the toast need to be to figure out the puzzle, but it doesn't necessarily give you like an animation. It's just a static image sort of silhouette of them. So you kind of get an idea of what you need to do, of where you need to be to figure out the puzzle, which is totally fine. I don't mind that. It just means it sort of, guides me in the direction that I need to go to solve these puzzles. So yeah, Kato, Buttered Cat, is actually quite fun. And there's quite a lot of levels. I'm in World 2 at the moment, level like 20 something. Or 30, I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of levels in this game. I'm not gonna lie. But it's not actually taking me that long to get through. So I think I've only played like a few hours of it, and I'm already on World 2. So it's actually a pretty decent game, and I like it. It's actually available on Steam. I think it's on PlayStation. Yeah, so Steam, PlayStation, and Switch. So you can get it on all those platforms.
No Xbox?
It's actually quite fun. No.
What's an Xbox?
They might be working on it. I'm not sure.
That's a conversation
That's
for
a discussion for
different day.
another day. That's why we're siblings. So that's pretty much what I've been playing. In terms of like what I've been watching and listening, though, which I will also get you guys to also discuss. I just want to mention that I've actually been listening to an audiobook, and it's the Harry Potter series of books with the full cast.
Oh.
Yeah, very, very cool. I've started Philosopher's Stone, and Hugh Laurie is playing the role of Dumbledore. That is so cool.
Oh, I love Hugh Laurie.
And
who is that?
Yeah.
Just be quiet.
Google it. The full cast audiobook. So it's like every character has a voice actor attached to them, and then you've got like the narrator. It's just so good. It's very well produced, and it just sort of hearing the book read like this. Just sort of reminded me of how much I really enjoyed reading it back in the day when I first got it. And it's also kind of reminding me of things that weren't in the movies as well. Like there were things that they omitted or they sort of changed things up for creative liberties and all that sort of stuff to make the movie work a bit better. But like I'm really enjoying the audiobook version of Harry Potter. So I'm going to continue to sort of listen to the rest of them because they're doing a full cast version of these audiobooks for all of the books. And I think so far they've gotten as far as I think number 3, so Prisoner of Azkaban. Maybe the 4th one. Anyway, they're going to do it for all of the books, and it's so cool. I'm really loving listening to that audiobook right now. So, yeah, really enjoying that.
That's so exciting.
Just reliving the Harry Potter
Sounds
life.
good.
Yeah. I'm excited. I have to go get that. That is so exciting. And Hugh Laurie as Dumbledore, that's perfect. His voice is very perfectly Dumbledore's. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. It works really well. And they mention characters that I like that aren't necessarily in the Harry Potter world, but they're from like Fantastic Beasts. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I didn't even remember these characters being referenced in the first books. Mm-hmm. And now it makes sense as to why they made the spin-off franchise of Fantastic Beasts, because they mentioned Newt Scamander, and I'm like, I don't remember him.
Well, because he wrote the Fantastical Beasts book, and then they based the movies off of the book that he wrote. But because at this point in time, he had become like their source material for education, So when they went backwards and did the Fantastical Beasts, it was really just based off of the fact that he had a school book in Harry Potter.
Yeah. And that was so cool when they referenced that. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, that like, I've watched the movies. That's so cool. So, yeah, it's just really nice to kind of hear it all over again, just be reminded about this magical world. Because I'm a huge fan of the wizarding world, absolutely. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. By the way, if you have Audible, I'm listening to it on Audible, which is where they're doing it. So if you have an Audible subscription, it might be worth using your credit for that one, to be honest, or just buy it. because it just sounds really great.
Yay.
It's amazing.
Any other shows that you've been watching besides listening to stuff?
Yes, I have also been watching some stuff. I haven't gotten around to actually watching movies lately. I've kind of not been watching much in terms of movies. So I'm just going to talk about anime and TV shows I've been watching. I'll start off with some of the less obvious ones. So I watched the final season of Queer Eye, and it made me cry. Like every other episode, it always tears me up. It's a very emotional show. But considering that this was its final season after 10 years, it was just very, very emotional. And they did the final season in Washington, D.C. And they they make mention about certain things that are happening in the world right now, just to reiterate the fact that people should just be spreading kindness, being positive about themselves, looking after yourself, and the people around you, and just that kind of messaging, which is what I really loved about watching this show. And I'm just gonna miss the group. The Fab Five, they're absolutely amazing people, and oh my gosh, I don't know. And because this season was a 5-episode season, so it's very short, they ended up doing like a little reflection with each of the Fab Five at the end of each episode about what they learnt about doing this show over time. And yeah, it's sad that it's done, but I'm glad that it exists. And that's the main thing. Yeah. It's just a good reminder to just be kind to yourself and the people around you, So yeah, Queer Eye. I have also been watching Formula One Drive to Survive, the most recent season, meaning the season of the racing season that just happened in 2025, which is what they do. They do like a recap for the show. A lot is going on. I've got one more episode left before I'm finished with it. But they always drop the season just before the Netflix show. They drop the season just before the main racing season of the new year starts. But considering that they're already 2 or 3 races in, I've kind of missed those 2 races. But I'm a big fan of Formula One only because I used to work there. So that's why I've been really enjoying keeping up with these particular show, Formula One Drive to Survive. It's actually really cool. So if you are into that, it's very sort of documentary heavy. They just go around during each race and they talk to the team principals and the drivers. Sometimes they'll talk to the CEOs of each of the teams, or they might, speak to other team members. And they also speak to journalists as well that go around and do the work around their Formula One. But I really enjoy watching that show. It's actually really cool. You learn a lot about what's going on in the races. Moving into some anime related things, I have been watching One Piece. So I have I have paused my watch of the anime One Piece at 365 episodes. That's as far as I've gotten so far.
Too many.
Look, I'm way behind my cohort on a podcast called Fred. Believe me, he's already at episode 600 something. So I paused because the Netflix live action season 2 just released. And my goodness, is it amazing. It is so good. It's 8 episodes. Each of the episodes are about an hour each. But they condensed the stories and the arcs so well, to the point where it goes from, so they get to oh my gosh. What now I'm going to start this is how my brain forgets lore and places, and it really bothers me. So I need to look them up. So the first episode takes them to Logue Town, which is where the Great Pirate Era begins. And that is also where the king of the pirates, Gold Roger, was executed. And Luffy was excited to be there. Because he wants to be king of the pirates. So he wanted to see where the last one died.
This is where I'm going to die one day.
And they come across Buggy and his crew again at this particular point.
The reason why I refuse to watch
which is the clown.
2.
That is the clown pirate, by the way, Sam.
This is why I won't watch season 2.
He's only in episode 1. That's it.
No.
He's not in the rest of it.
No, because I have to watch
me.
that episode to get to episode 2.
One episode is too many.
It's fine.
It's a headless clown.
He has a chop fruit. That's what happens when.
9.
Anyway.
No.
Then we get to then after Logue Town, they head off to Reverse Mountain, and they go up Reverse Mountain, and then they come down to the Grand Line, but there's a whale at the end of it, and the boat, the Merry, gets swallowed up by this whale.
Moby Dick is an anime?
Whale. More like Pinocchio, actually.
Pinocchio of a whale?
Yeah. No. The whale from Pinocchio is kind of it's kind of referencing that.
I just want to see a giant whale with a massive nose.
It's called a narwhal.
You've not seen this whale? No, not a narwhal. No, it's just a giant whale, like a big ass whale.
Think about it, just a whale flopping
Big
through the
mouth.
ocean with a giant 20-meter
Big
nose.
enough.
That'd be amazing.
Just whale big enough to swallow a ship,
Yeah,
a pirate ship.
Yeah, but Auntie said he wants to see a whale with a giant nose. I said it's called a narwhal.
Nah, that doesn't exist in anime. Only whales.
Yeah. So, yeah, that happens. They meet some Baroque Works people in episode 2. And it's just this whole real sad story about this whale, because the whale is waiting for his other pirate crew that they said they would come back and they never did.
Aww.
And so he's been bashing against the mountain, and you can see the scars on the front of the whale's nose, and it's just so sad, you know?
Sadder, he's stupid.
Can you swim around the
He's
top?
upset. He misses his friends.
I miss my friends, so I smashed my head into a wall. What sense does that make?
He does that because he thinks they're on the other side of that
Just swim
mountain, and so
around
he's
it.
trying to break it down to get to it.
Swim
Well, maybe he
around.
thinks if
It's
he gets
reverse
brain
mountain.
damage,
That's not
he'll
how
forget.
this works.
No, if he gets brain damage, he'll forget about that. Maybe that's the
Maybe.
idea here.
Leave your real life logic out of this, okay? It's anime.
Continue. We apologize.
Then we move on to Whiskey Peak, which is this real sort of this island where apparently, quote unquote, pirates are very welcome. Trap. And so we meet the rest are like a few more Baroque Works pirates, and they're very powerful. They have their own, they've got their own powers. And we get to see an awesome scene with Zorro fighting up against 100 pirates, and they count them out. And like he counts them as he slays them, trying to get to Mr. Nine, who's one of the Baroque Works people. And it's just this one, this saloon. He goes into a saloon, and the way that the set design for this saloon is amazing. It's like in different layers and levels. And so he's like using his swords, doing 2-sword style, and then he'll get to a point where he goes 3-sword style, and oh my gosh, it's so good. And he does slay 100 pirates to get to Mr. Nine. It's really good. That's an epic battle that I really enjoyed. Then we go from Whiskey Peak to Little Garden, and Little Garden is the opposite of that name. There are giants there.
They want to call it Giant
And
Garden.
it's also got, it's a prehistoric island because there's dinosaurs on this island too.
Naturally.
Yeah. So, and we meet more Baroque Works pirates here. And one of them is sort of had the wax fruit. And so he can make things made with wax. And just
He could just make
he
things
makes
out of
a
wax
wax
himself.
house.
Did you just say he
so
waxes
he can-
himself? Because not that kind of podcast.
No. He creates wax and uses it to manipulate and make art with it. Not what you're thinking, Sam. Stop it.
You see, if anybody could see us now, it's just me, Antonio, and Daniel giggling while Koala is trying to seriously speak.
It's hard to explain anime, all right?
Yeah, I think it's just hard to explain One Piece. Other anime makes sense.
I think when you say things like wax fruit, you've
Yeah.
already screwed yourself.
You'd
Here's my
understand the
gum
reference
machine.
if you
It allows
watched
me to
One
make
Piece.
gum.
No! Shut up! Anyway, we then get from Little Garden after that. We then go to, oh my gosh, what's it called? Drum Island.
Do they make drums there?
And no, shut up. It's a very, it's a snow-covered winterland. And this is where we meet Tony Chopper. And he is the cutest little reindeer who ended up eating the human fruit. Because now this reindeer has become a little boy, but still a reindeer. And he just wants to become a good little reindeer doctor.
I had to ask,
So he ends up...
is there any
Yes.
normal fruit in this world, or do they all just...
No. Each devil fruit, that's what they're called, each devil fruit has a specific power, and there's only ever one of that particular devil fruit. So Luffy had the gum fruit, and so he is stretchy.
Yes, but his name is Tony.
Yeah, he calls himself Tony Chopper.
His name
yes.
is Tony, and he ate a human fruit, and now he wants to become a doctor.
No, just a doctor.
No, Dr.
Oh, I'm
Doctor.
sorry. I was trying to adopt the vernacular where we repeat everything twice. So basically, they stole the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and just melded a reindeer with the dentist guy, and now it's just a weird, screwed up amalgamation of the two.
No,
You mean amalgamation,
Chopper's cute.
according to this logic.
Oh yes, amalgamation.
Oi!
Yes.
Chopper is adorable, all right? If you
Adorable.
looked him up, you would understand. You three need to shut up.
You mean shut up?
Stop it.
Continue.
I won't.
Dang.
One Piece, the live action is great. All right. End of story. Watch it.
Story. Got it.
This has gone so far
Canceling
off
my
track.
trip to Germany.
You mean your trip?
Anywho, I've been watching other anime. I will be very quick about it. The Gymnastics Samurai, I have finished. It's great. It's a sports anime. It's about a gymnast who is a single dad, and he's at a point where he has injured his shoulder, but he's pushing himself so much that his coach tells him that he needs to retire. But he feels the need to continue. And so he ends up finding an acupuncturist who ends up healing him quite a bit to help him continue training so that he can then compete against all the youngster gymnasts. So, yeah, it's a really good anime. It's about 13 episodes long. It's very short, sort of one season. I really enjoyed it. It's really cute. Yeah, there we got that. And then the last one I want to mention, and it's going to be hard to explain, and I was trying to explain this to Antix before we started the podcast. And this one's actually called Full Dive, This Ultimate Next Gen Full Dive RPG is even shittier than real life. That is the full title.
What's the title?
That is the title to this particular show. And it's about a character by the name of Yuki Hiroshi, who has just picked up Kiwame Quest, the most realistic VR MMO of all time.
Here we go, another one of these.
But this RPG is too lifelike. So, I'm only a couple episodes into this particular show, and it is essentially this VR gaming device that they use. Very futuristic, by the way. Daniel, you're going to love this. It's a gaming chair that they lay back in, and the gaming chair, when you turn it on, uses like some sort of fiber optics or something that gets into your central nervous system. And that's how you get into the VR world. And and you end up feeling a lot of things through this particular VR system. Now, in this game, Kiwame Quest, you can touch stuff and you can actually feel it in real life. You can smell food, and you can smell smells. You can taste food as well. But if you can feel and taste and smell all that, means you're going to be feeling some hits to the face. So Hiro ends up, when he first dives into this world, into this game, comes across two NPCs, a male and a female. They're brother and sister. They're apparently, according to the game, they are childhood friends of him, the player. And ends up, Hiro uses gaming, as a lot of other players do, to escape real life. It's a bit of an escapism sort of a thing. However, this game is so lifelike that he ends up because he has bullies in real life because he's a student. This guy, this NPC, ends up bullying him, starts fighting him and punching him and stuff. And he feels it all. He starts getting so mad because the guy is teasing him about, being weak and everything, that he gets up, and before he charges at him, he's got a dagger. He's been slicing an apple and eating an apple from the point of his dagger, right? As if it's a fork. He's got a slice of apple on the point of that dagger right now. He's about to eat it. Hiro charges at him, knocks him out, doesn't get up. And then he looks at his face. The knife has gone right through his mouth, come out the other end.
Oh,
he's dead.
Oh my God.
All happening in front of the sister NPC, who sees this, squeals in shock, and then ends up having this psychotic vendetta against Hiro and wants to now kill him. And he runs away, but she chases him to who knows where. It is so messed up, but it's funny. It's just really funny. And in order for him to even get out of the game, he can save to get out of the game, but if he's still in a battle, or if there is an enemy close by, he cannot leave this world. So he has to find a way to get away from them, or he has to kill them.
In other words, it's Dark Souls.
So yeah, it's a cool little anime. I came across this while at work processing, some DVDs and Blu-rays. This one I came across while I was there, and I just wanted to see if it was on Crunchyroll, and lo and behold, it was there, and now that's why I'm watching it, and it's fun.
Sounds interesting, really.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those kind of like, it's fantasy, it's gaming related, it's an RPG. We love RPGs here. Although I don't know about VR MMO, so that's another thing. I don't know. But yeah.
He's the only one who uses VR here, so.
All I'm saying is the technology sounds amazing, but when you talk about hooking a brain up or your nervous system up to a machine, all I'm thinking is there's going to be one person 10 years from now that gets really mad at you because you beat him at a game. I'm going to hack you. Now you're immobilized forever.
Either that or the largest porn and the new industry of porn will be started.
Oh, boy. Anyways,
yes, that's
buy your red light chairs
what
now.
That's what I've been watching. Daniel, what have you been watching lately?
We just finished watching an Apple TV show called Dope Wars. Which I don't know if we talked about that yet. No, I didn't think so. It is
Dog Wars?
Dope Wars.
Or is it Dope Feet?
Dope Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's about two people pretending to work for the DEA to like bust, drug-related crimes. So they dress up as DEA agents, and the whole scheme is to bust other drug dealers and take their money. So like committing a crime against criminals. So they feel like it's not really bad because these are bad people. And of course, they do it a few times. It works okay. They're making some money. And until it didn't. And people get shot. And everything goes upside down. And they meet like this whole cartel who was like finding out that they're doing this stuff to them. And then they get threatened. They have to run away, hide. And it's been very intense. Very good. Very interesting story. But also very exhausting because they're constantly arguing. They're screaming at each other. And surprise guest appearance, Janeway from Star Trek Voyager, Kate Mulgrew. So that was also interesting to see her in a completely different role because I know her as a clean Star Trek captain. And now she plays the mother of one of the criminals. And very intense.
Interesting.
Very good surround sound as well. When you see the cops coming and the helicopters are flying all around you. Which, of course, I'm the only one appreciating that.
Okay, I appreciate it, but I also... Okay, you're watching. You're like, okay, I'm watching. Okay, I'm focused. All of a sudden, bam! Behind you. Ah! What's that? Hello? Anybody back there? Oh, okay, we're good.
But that's the idea.
Okay.
You are inside the movie.
It works great. It scares the crap out of me.
Honestly, I would love to get like a home theater system sort of set up, like with surround sound. That'd be really awesome.
Yes, I love it. Sam is tolerating me.
I support it. It just sometimes scares me.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Formula One, Fuya. I watched not the show, but the Apple TV movie with Brad Pitt.
Oh, the movie? Yeah, the movie's great.
See, you love it. I always, loving racing games in general. I was very excited about it too. And I'm like, it's so popular and, I want to see it and hear the surround sound and, but again, the people I'm sharing my TV experience with are like racing. They're all going in a circle. I'm bored. And like how they shot the movie is like so exciting. It's like inside the camera swings around, and it looks so realistic. Although a lot of stuff is also CGI. But yeah.
Fun fact: did you know that they had to? It took them 13 months to film this movie, and they had to put their production schedule in line with the main Formula One race schedule so that they could be at those specific races for the movie.
All right.
That would have been logistically chaotic.
Yeah.
And the way they filmed it was they would film parts, like once the main actual race was done, then they would go ahead and do their version, like the movie version with like the podium celebrations and stuff like that. I found that so fascinating, the way that they did all that. Also, Formula One, or F1, I should say, the movie, won an Oscar for Best Sound Design.
Yeah. And it sounds awesome. It really does. Yeah.
I'd love to experience that. I wish I could have watched it in the cinema.
Well,
but
and you come
I didn't
here.
get a chance. Yeah.
Sam will go to bed.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
The Germany trip is back on.
You're going to be racing.
And apparently I'm being sent to bed.
You can watch it. And then you'll fall asleep because it's like...
I'll just be on my iPad. It's fine.
No, you'll still be playing Pokopia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'll play
probably,
Pokemon.
yes.
Yeah, we're good. It's all good. Portable. I don't mind racing. I just prefer it with horses instead of cars.
I need banana peels on my racetrack.
It's a form of it.
Boring otherwise.
Have you been watching anything else, Daniel, or is that it?
I've started season 3 of Shrinking, which I know you're watching as well.
So good,
It is,
right?
It is a really good show. I've watched the other seasons too. And you just got to be prepared that it's like really great actors. It's funny as hell. But there's always going to be a gut punch. There's always going to something they hit you with that's just too realistic. And you're like,
absolutely,
I'm scared.
And I've cried quite a few times watching that show.
Yeah. But it's very realistic at times too. And it's interesting because they're touching topics, normally no other TV show would, and how to cope with things.
Absolutely.
And of course, I like seeing Michael J. Fox being back as an actor, which is cool.
It's so good, right? It's just seeing him on the screen again.
It is. It is. So yeah, I can recommend it. I don't think Sam likes it because she doesn't like realistic stuff that makes you sad, but it's just good.
I don't watch
that's
TV
fair.
to be sad.
Ah.
I got real life for that.
Yeah, I get it. So what have you been watching, Sam?
I was going to say, I'll move over to me.
Yes.
I've been watching,
Yes.
well, we're actually watching this together. We're watching this new show called Scarpetta. It's on Amazon, and it is so cool. It is Nicole Kidman and Jamie Lee Curtis together. And basically, Nicole Kidman is a medical examiner, and she helps solve crimes. And Jamie Lee Curtis is her sister, and she is a children's book author. So they're complete opposites. And they're always kind of like, Jamie Lee Curtis kind of serves as almost like the comic relief, where she is just always arguing with her sister, and she's always doing like weird, eccentric things, but she's also emotional, so you feel for her in a way. But the story is basically like a psychological thriller. And it's very cool. They're trying to catch like a serial killer, and it's the way that it's formatted is very dark, but it's also very interesting and compelling. Like you're waiting for the next episode. You're on the edge of your seat waiting for the next episode. And Nicole Kidman is so good in it. Like she is great. And it also has the actor from The Mentalist, whose name at the moment escapes me. I haven't seen him in a very long time.
Simon Baker?
Maybe.
I think that's him.
Yeah, he's really good, and I haven't seen him in a while, so it was very exciting to see him in something new. You know, And so I've been loving that show. And if you like psychological thrillers, this is a good show for that.
Okay.
It's
interesting.
It's a little dark. And it also has some very interesting sound effects in it. Like we were watching and they were doing an autopsy and we're sitting there and all of a sudden you hear crack. And they took and they cracked the ribs out of the corpse. And it was so graphically loud on the surround sound. You were like, damn.
Oh man.
You know, even me and my mother-in-law went, ew.
This kind of sounds sort of similar to like Bones, the show Bones.
Yes, but much darker.
Bones is a bit more lighthearted, of course, but yeah.
If you made Bones super dark, then yes.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying that. The other thing I'm watching, I'm very excited about, is Culinary Class Wars Season 2.
Okay.
And it is a Korean cooking show. Basically, they have the elite chefs, which are the white spoons. And then they have the everyday chefs, which are the black spoons. And they're basically competing against each other to see who is actually the better chef between the two groups. And the black chefs don't have names. They have nicknames because they haven't earned the right, like the white spoon chefs have, to have their name. So the hope is for one of the black spoon chefs to get to the end so that they can earn their name at the end of the season. But the way that these people cook is so meticulous and so incredible. And it's almost like watching a drama. Like you're so drawn in to watching their techniques and the way that they go about thinking about their flavors and producing their food. And it is so complex. And as a chef, it is like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, ever. And these are techniques that I can't do. I mean, the way that they handle their knives is so incredible. You know, even down to I was watching them crosshatch, which is to slice small cuts into a protein so that it is tender, but also can absorb as much sauce and flavor as possible. And the way that this one person had this giant cleaver and was cross-hatching this piece of squid was so fantastic. I was like, oh,
what?
I know. Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And I mean, I know I'm being a cooking nerd right now, but it was so cool.
I'm a cooking noob, and I still like the sound of that.
Yeah, it was very cool. So I highly recommend this show, especially if you're a foodie and you love stuff like this, because the show is incredible. It's really one of the best cooking shows I've seen in years. I think it's one of the few shows where it really highlights the actual skill of cooking and not just kind of the drama of the competition itself, but more like you actually get to see their skills for a change.
Okay.
And some of them come in there cooking the most fantastical things. Like one chef was proficient in nothing but chicken feet. And you're like, really? That's what you're a professional at, chicken feet? And yet he made the most delicious looking chicken foot I've ever seen in my life. Even though I wouldn't want to eat it, it still looked really tasty. And it was just it's very cool. It's a very cool show. So I highly recommend that show because I am loving that.
I've just looked it up on Netflix and now I'm like, oh my God, I need to watch this.
You need to watch it. It is fantastic, this show. I love it.
Oh man, the episodes are long.
Yeah, they are. They're very long. Well, I feel like when you watch the Korean TV shows, they put a lot more detail into their shows. Yeah. Their shows are much more detailed, I think. I think when you watch more westernized television, we tend to go a little faster. Like we want things to go a little more quickly. Whereas Whereas like the Korean shows are much more detail oriented, which I love in this case.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, we've been watching another great Korean show called what is it? Crime Scene Zero, I think, and it's actually kind of cool. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like dinner theater, where you go to dinner and then you also like solve a crime while you're eating dinner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like that idea where they all role play, and they have to like they're all each play a character, and then they have to figure out which one of them are the killer. So it's a competition show. So they're competing to win money, and if they figure out which one of them is the killer, they win the money. But if the killer doesn't get caught, then the killer wins the money. And it's very detail oriented, but it is very funny. It is so freaking funny, this show. The way that they're like role playing and pretending to be like I mean, they have one guy they called Pretty Boy Kim. And his role is that he basically has had an affair with every single cast member, and they're all finding out that like one by one they're all finding out that he had an affair with every single cast member, and they're all like,
wow.
You slept with my sister? You slept with my stepmother? You slept with my mother? And it is just so funny.
Can you imagine getting the script and that's what your character is, and you're like, crap.
Well, at times, like he's even giggling at himself, and he like, and he's like, I found out that I did what? Oh, okay, I did this. He's just laughing at himself. Like, it is a great show.
That's so
I
funny.
also recommend that show because it's funny. Oh my gosh. So.
Wow.
Long story short, that's my TV entertainment recently.
Nice.
Alrighty.
All right. Antix, what about you?
Well, I've been still keeping up with Freeburn Season 2. And tragically, we are nearing the end of this season. And what's even more tragic is the author is having health issues right now. So they've been on a hiatus since October. So the manga is going to take a long time to even have enough content produced for a season 3. So that's going to be, unfortunately, a long time before that's produced, because the quality of that anime is so amazing. And we only have one episode left.
Oh.
Well, you have one episode left. I still have a few.
Yeah, because you refuse to read.
I don't have time. I'm slow at reading, all right? I can't keep up.
But that has been amazing as usual. It's the #1 anime for a reason. Another show that I've been watching is this is more of it's a rom-com that's actually the couple gets together in episode 1, which is actually a nice change of pace, because unlike majority of shows where are they gonna get together? Are they not? And then episode 12, like every single show on the planet, they get together and it's such a perfect unanimous date. We're gonna have a kiss at the end and maybe we'll stay together. I don't know. This one they get together episode 1, and the show actually deals with how that relationship develops after the fact. You and I are polar opposites, and they're completely just exact opposite personalities, which is why they go so well together. So it's actually been a fun time just keeping up with that, because it's such a nice change of pace. The main show that I've been watching, though, is Welcome to Demon School. And I've been rewatching season 3 because season 4 is coming right up. I believe next week is the start of the next season. So I've been rewatching that because it's been a little while since I've seen this episode or this show. And it's basically this kid, Iruma, his parents sell him off to demons because they're super selfish and just love profit and all that. So they straight up sell him to a demon.
Sure.
And his soul, his body, everything gets stolen to the underworld. But it turns out this demon really wanted a grandkid and was not able to have children of his own. So basically, he's actually welcoming to this child. The problem is, humans are not allowed in the underworld because demons want to eat you. So
Naturally.
Yes. So the entire show is him trying to survive these completely comedic incidents where he is a human trying to compete against demons at high school, essentially. And every single trope in the book is him trying to just survive romance, bullying, competition, sports, everything.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just the most hilarious slapstick humor nonsense because all the demons think that he's also a demon. He's just a little quirky or bizarre in his way of doing things. So it's just amazing how hilarious some of these episodes get. It actually has some emotional depth because, he was sold off and for profit and all that. So there's actually a little bit of emotional scarring that he has because of that. And he ends up liking the underworld more than the human world because, from what he knows, humans are scumbags. Demons are the only ones that have actually been nice to me in my existence.
I mean, fair enough since he got sold.
Added it to the watch list.
Yes. But it's actually just really amazing because the entirety is the underworld suspects there's a human that's breached the borders, and they're trying to find this human. But, of course, the one bizarre demon that's popped up out of nowhere, man, you're perfectly fine. You fit right in. So it's just slapstick comedy left and right, following his adventures through trying not to get eaten.
Okay, then.
But other than that, Pokopia has consumed my life, so doesn't have been to 3.
Interesting. Well, then.
That really does sound funny, though.
It is slapstick
it really does.
comedy.
Wow. Like I said, I've added it to my watch list on Crunchyroll, so I'll check it out.
You got 4 seasons to go through as of this upcoming season. Good luck.
It's fine. I'll watch it in my own time. I probably won't get around to it immediately anyway, so that's fine.
Ew.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. Thank you so much for regaling us with your anime watches. And that means, I guess it's time to jump in to our main topic of the show. And today we're going to be discussing our thoughts and feelings about physical games media versus digital games media. We're going in a direction where physical media is starting to be less and less popular, or we're not seeing them in stores as much as we used to. And a lot of these games are now starting to become only digitally available. So we thought this would be a really good discussion to have, to see where we're all sort of sitting when it comes to physical and digital games media. And I think maybe it's probably a good way to start off. We'll start off with Daniel, since you are the procurer of the pros and cons list.
Yes.
For those not listening, we have a massive list that Daniel has produced.
I have made a list. There are a lot of feelings about this topic.
So, yeah.
For those
All
of
right,
you real list people, Daniel is a lister.
Yes. I am a lister as well. So let's maybe start off with like the pros, and we'll start with the pros of physical games media, and the pros for digital games media. So Daniel, go ahead.
All right. Well, I've been collecting video games since I was a child, and I've collected quite a lot of games over my time in the video game world. And it's always enjoyable for me to be able to like go back and just look at a system that are even like an older system and look almost like a book library. What do I actually have? And I see like all the games cases, And a lot of times I catch myself, especially with older system, that I'm like, oh, cool, I have that. I like find things I didn't even remember, or like things I'm like, oh, I'm ready to jump back into this specific game. And I enjoy that. And with nowadays, with my PlayStation library or Xbox games, it has been fun too. Sometimes you grab a game that's on sale and then you don't get to play it. You start collecting your backlog, and then it's on your shelf. And hopefully eventually you'll go back to your shelf and then you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even try that. And and if you compare that to like a digital library, it's just become such a consumable, like especially if you like collect games, even if you like collect free games at Epic Games, you every other week you just hit redeem, you get it, it's in your library, but you will not remember what you actually have. And I do not want to scroll through a list of 100 digital games that I have, because it's like maybe you don't even remember the titles, or no, I just don't. Well, if it's physically there, it's just, I don't know, a little more old school, but it's more like, okay, I have it, I play it. Of course, you can't totally avoid it anymore. Like you said, a lot of titles are digital only, and we're heading into that direction. But as long as I can, I'm still holding onto physical media. And I remember as a teenager, I also loved, you don't have as much money. I would also go and sell like games I either didn't like or I was done with it, and recoup some money that I spent on a game to afford a new game. And that's just another thing with digital games anymore. It's glued to your account, and that's it. So if you're short of money and you bought a game you really hate, you're stuck with it.
This is true.
Do you feel there are pros to having digital games?
Yes, of course. The pros is something, for example, if you take PlayStation, where you can define like your main home console, and you have more than one console. This is how I actually play with Sam. Like if you buy a digital copy of a game, I made the console Sam is playing on my home console, and then she can actually play on her account the game I bought, and I can play the same game on my other console, and I just have to be connected online to be verified. And it even works that far that we can play the same game at the same time. So if we have like a multiplayer game, you just have to buy one copy and we can both play it. While physical is one console only. And I know Steam also has that limitation where it's just like, no, multiplayer, we gotta buy it twice. So yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, that is a big pro to digital. And of course, you get more sales too. Like I noticed, for example, Nintendo, Antonio said he's gonna switch to digital because Nintendo is being cheeky now and does everything cheaper if you buy the digital game. And they made the physical game like $10 more money.
Well, not always.
That depends, actually.
Yeah. I've noticed a lot of the games that I've seen, I can buy a lot of those Nintendo games maybe like $5 or $10 cheaper in store physically compared to buying them digitally.
It really depends on the specific game in question. Some of them never go on sale whatsoever, and that's more so on the company that publishes it. Like, you will eventually see a Mario or a Zelda on sale on a holiday a couple of years after it comes out. There's always that joke, Nintendo games never go on sale. They do.
Yes.
But you're never going to see, it's like the price value. I never buy a Sega or some of the third-party PlayStation games week or one or two, because I know it's going to go on sale $5 or $10 off a month or two later. So it really depends on the company, in my retrospective.
Yeah. No, I was thinking first-party games, Nintendo. They're really trying to push you into digital. But I noticed over here, not specifically Amazon, but physical stores usually give you the digital price for a physical cartridge, if you're lucky that the game's actually on it. But yeah, so yeah, you didn't meet Pocopia, for example.
Well, I think if you go to, like, I think Pocopia is a great example. So if you would have gone on to the Nintendo eShop and you would have bought the physical Pocopia, it was $80 and you got like a little gift bag with it for the pre-order. And if you would have bought the digital, it would have been $70.
Really? It must be regional because it's the same price here in the US.
Yeah, no, it was $10 less if you bought the digital for Pocopia over here.
Yeah.
So we went to our local store and ended up getting the physical for the $70 with the gift bag as well. But that seems to be a thing over here, specifically if you live, I guess, in Europe or the European region, that digital games over here are $10 less than the physical actual game. So you save money if you buy digital. You know, which is also kind of very, I think the best way to put it really is con artisty of Nintendo, because they really don't want to produce as much physical media anymore. They want you to go digital. So this is their way of saying, oh, it affects your wallet. So we're going to kind of, you know, trick you into going digital versus having physical. So that's been a very big thing, especially over here, where we've been seeing that like change in pricing for one versus the other.
Okay. Yeah, I see. For me, physical games, I think it's just more a case of the way that we grew up. A lot of the console games that we bought were always physical. Even PC games originally started physical as well. And back then it was like the whole game was stored on that media. And so back then that the games were a lot smaller. But nowadays the developers are making these games and they're getting bigger and bigger depending on the style, the genre of the game, depending on what they want their game to do. It makes it harder for them to actually put them onto physical media. And so either the installation is on the media and the rest of the content you have to download, or you just get a download key or code or something in the case and be like, all right, go download the whole thing. And that's kind of what it's become now in like today's kind of era of gaming, where physical media is not really as sought after compared to digital, because a lot of the times people just, it's more of a space thing. They just don't want to have physical cases, you know, on their shelves or lying around collecting dust. Whereas digital just means, you know, you can depending on the console, you can take it with you if you've got a Switch or a Steam Deck. You know, when it's like a PlayStation, your library is connected and linked to your account that you create, and so you know, you can then jump onto another PlayStation or Xbox even, because this Xbox does the same thing, and so does Nintendo. And yeah, wherever you go, you just log in with your account and then your library is available, and all you have to do is download that content to your system. But I think a lot of people are steering away from physical media more so now, because I think it's mostly because of space. They don't really care to have them in their homes, and digital just seems more convenient for people. For me, I personally like having the physical media. I like seeing like you, Daniel, I like seeing the games that I own. Whether it's on a shelf or in a box, I just want to know that I have them. And it's just like one of those things that it just makes me feel good to know. And I kind of like collecting things anyways. I'm a bit of a collector myself. And so buying them physically just means that, you know, I can see it's tangible, right? I bought it. It's physically in my hands. And that's kind of what I prefer. And the other good thing about most of the time, the other good thing about having physical media is that if, say, you're done with the game and you don't really care about keeping it, or you bought a game based on like a recommendation or a review and you decide, let me try it, see if I like it, you try it, you don't like it, you can trade it back in. And you can delete the save file if you don't want it associated with your account after the fact. So that's kind of why I like having the physical media, because I can sell it or trade it in for someone else who might want it as well. And most of the time, physical media, as long as it's looked after well, you can actually sell them for decent prices, and people will be fine with it. And I know that, especially with Nintendo Switch, because of the cartridges, the value of those cartridges don't really go down that much. They're pretty high still. So they're still quite valuable to have physically. And yeah, I'm a big believer of physical media. Now I get it. I'm also running out of shelf space. It's hard to keep up with the amount of shelf space you need because of the amount of games you buy. But it also comes down to this type of games you play, because I have noticed with myself that I'm not really buying as much physical games, because a lot of the physical games that are available are mostly your AAA titles, your big popular third-party games, your second-party games. I'm now mostly been playing a lot of indie games, and a lot of those indie games are not available physically. They're only digitally available. And so I don't have a choice but to buy them digitally, because they don't have the funds, especially these small development teams, they don't have the funds to go out of their way to get their game on physical media. But depending on demand, if it's popular enough, if they're getting the if they're getting the feedback for wanting it physically, they might be able to fund it. But like I said, a lot of these indie developers, they're very small. They don't really get much funding. Usually it's out of their own pockets. And so it's just easier for them and cheaper to put them out digitally. So, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think the biggest threat really is also getting hacked. As weird as it sounds, but you know, I've watched how people like deal with each other online, and how Sony, for example, or even Nintendo is like monitoring you everywhere now, because people are just assholes to each other. And Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft too is not having it. They're not letting people swear at each other, abuse each other. So you can get quickly banned, may it be temporarily, or you can be permanently banned from the entire network, because goodbye. You know, you need to be a decent human being, and humans are usually not decent. And, you know, and even if you're a decent player, I've read a lot of experiences where people are just playing, maybe even like us, who like play the Arc Raiders, yeah. And then you meet nice people, but then you might meet people who are really assholes.
Oh, yes. Like the guy I had to report the other day.
Yes.
Told me to,
Sam actually reported somebody.
Who told me to, and I will bleep this myself, but he told me to suck his donut. And I was like, wow. But here was the thing about that was hilarious, right? Okay. So he shoots me. Okay. I shoot back at him. He shoots me. He kills me. I'm dead. I'm bleeding out on the floor. And instead of just being like, okay, I beat you, it's like, suck my donut. And you're like, dude, you won. Shut up. Like, you know, like, really? So even when they win, they're just jerks. And it's like, and I'm like, I go to Sony and I'm like, report, dude told me to suck his donut. Please block player from game.
Right.
You know, and, yeah. So that was like, but that is a good thing when it comes to playing console, because I think there are more safeguards and more ways for you to kind of protect yourself from that.
But here's the problem. You reacted correctly by not replying to him in any
No,
bad
I did
manner.
not interact with him.
But if you accidentally get really pissed off if somebody yelling at you and you say something rude back, because you got the right to be rude back in your mind, but then the other actor might report that message, and that includes voice messages nowadays too, they might look at you as being, going against the conduct of PlayStation Network too, and they might just block you as well. They're not going to sit there and analyze how did this start. They're like, oh, you said what? Such and such
again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just to imagine, I mean, it doesn't probably not happen often, but between that of Sony just with their AI scanning your voice messages and whatever and saying, oh, you said a rude word. Okay, goodbye. Cutting you off. Or you get hacked with a phishing attack. You might actually be losing your access to PlayStation Network. So what happens to all your digital games you bought? Just imagine you paid $60, $70 per game. You have a library of like 30, 40 games. That's all gone. And if that happens to me with a physical disc, I might lose my screen name, but I can make a new screen name and pop my disc back in, and my value is still there. So I found that to be like a good safeguard against how rude and dangerous online activities are nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What about you, Antix?
Well, for me personally, when I actually started having the money to start affording my own games and all that, everything was already kind of 50-50 with Wii and PlayStation 3. Some games are only on digital libraries. Some games are always going to be physical. So I kind of grew up with this hybrid half and half anyway. So that's how it's always been. I never had a time period where it was solely just physical, so you have an attachment to it. So for me personally, I've just always had the case where if it's a game I know that I'm going to be playing day one, like first party or whatever, I'm just going to get it physical because, and again, now, especially now, they got a lot of sales and whatnot going on. And if I know I'm going to be playing it, I just buck up and spend the $60, $70, whatever it is anyway, because I know I'm going to be playing it. Digital, on the other hand, I found that I'm waiting a lot more. Because if it's a digital copy, it's always going to be up on the storefront. If it's not, then either the developers did something really, really stupid and got themselves pulled off the store, or it was a bad game that wasn't worth buying into in the first place. So if it's a digital copy, I'm just going to wait for a sale and get it there if it's not something I know that I'm going to be playing day one or I need a physical copy of. So it really just depends on the specific game. If it's a Mario, I'm going to get it physical as long as I can. I mean, Switch 2, realistically speaking, we're talking 2032, 2033 probably. The next console is probably going to be all digital. So I have this space on my shelf that is allotted for my Switch 2 games that I'm going to be getting over the next decade or so. And then once that's that, PS6 is probably going to be majority digital. Maybe it's going to have an attachment like they've been doing with the PS5 for the disc copies. But the majority of it's going to be digital. And I mean, it sucks, but that's how the games are these days. So you just buy the games that you're going to get. And if you're going to get them on sale, get them on sale.
Yeah, I do that a lot as well with digital games. It's like most of the time, if I know I'm not going to be playing it like day one, I'm waiting for a sale.
Yeah.
So I just chuck it on a wish list. And that's another good thing about, I suppose, having digital games is that you can assign these games to your wish list on whatever platform you're on and just sort of monitor their release and monitor, whether they're on when they go on sale.
You have options for that with physical as well, with stores in your individual country, but you do have to make a Deku deals list or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So it really is how much investment you want. And then with the whole always on the cartridge or always on the disc argument is so asinine in this day and age, because there are very few games that don't have a massive day one update that adds 10 gigabytes to make it playable from the start. So that whole, Nintendo's putting it all on this game key card when they could have put it all on the disc. You're going to have a day one update anyway. I don't care. I'm just going to buy the game in the format that I'm going to get. Your PS5 copy is going to be installed onto the entire hard drive anyway. So I don't really care if it's all on the disc. And if I'm worrying about whether a server is going to be available for me to download a game 12 years from now when we're playing on the next console, I didn't care about that game in the first place.
Yeah. There was I think when I first picked up my Switch, I think back in like 2018 or something like that, I really wanted to get a Mortal Kombat game. And so I bought whatever the Mortal Kombat game was available at the time to play on the Switch. Now, I didn't realize how small the storage was, first of all, on this Switch. And then when I found out that this one Mortal Kombat game took up 95% of that storage, I was like, what the hell is happening here?
First of all, that's on the devs, because you cannot tell me that Breath of the Wild fits on this tiny little cartridge, and in your Mortal Kombat game that's infinitely smaller content-wise is 4 times the size. That's just compression issue.
Yeah. So that got traded in pretty quickly. I didn't keep that game immediately. And and like I said before, physical games, if I don't want it for whatever reason, I can trade it in or I can sell it. And that's kind of why I'm more pro towards physical games than I am to digital. Now, like I said, I play a lot more indie games nowadays. They're not on physical media. I'm going to have to buy those digitally, and that's totally fine. As long as it's available on my platform of choice. Most of the time it's going to be PC, which is okay. So I'll still do that. I'll still support the developers when it comes to that sort of thing, when I have to buy them digitally. But overall, I will do my best to find the games physically as much as I can, because that's how I prefer it.
I mean, I think for me, I'm in this really weird, like, my feet are standing in 2 different places, because growing up, because I'm old, I had physical, always physical, right? And I loved the fact that, like, recently Daniel and I got this analog 3D, and I still have my N64 games. So I still can play my N64 games. I have an N64, but it was very cool to be able to pop my cartridge in, have it a little bit upgraded and zhuzhed up, and be like, oh, okay, cool. This is my game. I've had this for 20, 30 years and I can still play it. Like, I love that. Right. And if I didn't have that, I would be sad, because I wouldn't be able to just go grab it anytime I want and pop it in. I would have to go get some stupid Nintendo extra online service to have their stupid library and pay for the game again. But I already have, right? That being said, I do think that we are moving into a day and age where it's becoming where you have less and less options to even want to keep your physical media. And again, Antonio pointed out a good point that even if we buy physical media, we don't even get the whole game anymore, which is also extremely obnoxious from the gaming developers, because half the time they give us a game, we're like, okay, we have it, we got it, but then it's not even finished. They didn't even finish it. They stuck it on the disc and they didn't finish it. So now we have to get it, put it in our machines, and then get the rest of it. And it's like, at that point, then you just basically bought half a physical game and half a digital game. So you're kind of like in a really weird position where it's like, I have it, or do I have it? Do I really have it? Or don't I have it? And is there a point really to having this physical disc? But Daniel pointed out a good point that God forbid you get locked out of your Sony account because of some random, troll. Then yes, I still can access my game because I still physically have it, and I can just go on my new account or my wife's account, me, and use it on theirs.
Well, I also like with the Switch games, like most of the time you say, let's buy it just digital. It's Switch 2. I don't care. But me and Antonio are crying because we still haven't bought a micro SD card because they're expensive and it's only getting worse right now.
The RAM is a whole other.
Yeah.
If you did not buy a 4 terabyte PlayStation SSD towards the start of the generation just to prep for yourself, oh my God, it is horrible. It's $900 right now for 4 terabytes.
It's absolutely
I got mine
insane.
for $200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that too because I work in retail and we sell like games and gaming consoles. And I noticed the hard drive price difference recently. And I thought, holy crap, I bought my SSD. And I think I can't remember if I bought a 2 or a 4 terabyte for my PlayStation. Back, like I bought it for a couple $100. Now it's doubled.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, geez, Louise, like even just standard hard drives, portable hard drives are so much more. And it's just insane.
I need to get a 1 terabyte, or if they start making them, I don't know if they're going to make the 2 terabyte because the Switch 2 can support to that, but they haven't even started making them because of this RAM crisis going on.
Right, yes.
But just with the 1 terabyte right now is going to run you $200 minimum, and I'm kind of stuck. I want to get it as soon as possible because I know that it's not going to get cheaper, but Black Friday is, realistically speaking, only a couple months away. I'm probably going to be getting maybe, 2-3 more games. I can fit them all onto the Switch 2, no problem right now. But after that, next year I'm going to need one if I want all my games.
Right.
Well, that was a big reason for us too why we didn't transfer all our games off of our Switch 1 onto our Switch 2.
I haven't even tried them all out yet because need to be a little frugal with the internal memory.
I've got everything on mine, but who knows how long that's going to last.
And even
Nintendo games are cheap, but...
Yeah. Well, but even like when you buy physical, even though you might not get the whole game because it needs an update, the update is still a little smaller than
the whole game. Right.
Yeah.
I think Pocopia wasn't that bad.
No.
The download.
It was less than 10, so it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Bad comparison.
No.
So it doesn't hurt as much your internal memory. So I'm like, also a reason why I'm juggling still going hard copy with the Switch 2.
Well, with the SSD prices rising based on, the sad state of the world, and the AI, intense AI growth, it is causing problems for people who prefer digital media versus physical media. So that is a huge downside for those of you who are like, I want an all digital library because good luck. You're not, we also go into that state. Okay, we want to save money. Well, okay, great. I'm going to save money by going digital, getting sales, by, going on websites like Aniba and getting keys cheaper. And you're like, okay, I saved money. And then you turn around and you go, oh, wait, I ran out of space. Oh, all that money I saved, it's now going to my new SSD for $400.
Not to mention the amount of time you waste deleting and reinstalling these digital games every single time.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
If you're waiting an hour just to install 60, 70, 80 gigabyte games every time, and then an extra 5 minutes just to reformat your entire system. If you're playing graph, okay, what can I fit into here? What can I fit into here? Okay, if I move this and I'm not going to play it for a couple months, can I squeeze enough space? It's a nightmare.
Maybe that should be a game.
I have a Series S, which is a digital console, and I wanted not really wanted, but I wanted to play with friends. I wanted to play like Fortnite with my friends. That thing, when you go to update Fortnite, takes up so much space that you need to make sure that you're not downloading anything else to be able to get those updates downloaded properly.
Literally,
right?
Fortnite
And
will eat your whole machine.
I've only got so much space on my freaking Series S, you know? And not only that, I like playing Forza Horizon. That is also a large game and it's digital. It takes up so much space. So whenever I go to play games on my Series S, I kind of have to be, like you said, frugal about what I end up adding to my console because I only have a limited amount of space on there. And I wasn't smart enough, not really smart enough. I think I was just late to the game because I bought my Series S quite late. I didn't think about getting the SD, it's not the SD card, the memory card that goes in the back, the SSD card that you can install. I didn't think about buying it at the time because back then to me it was expensive. Now it's skyrocketed, and so I'm screwed.
This entire memory storage nonsense is the sole reason I'm considering getting a PS5. I don't care about 3 extra pixels on a character model. I don't care about ray tracing. I turn that nonsense off the second I start a new game. I just need the storage, and the way that they are skyrocketing in price, I honestly am considering just swapping my base PS5, and just eating up the difference so I can just have that extra space, because PS6, who knows how long that cross-generation is going to be. I'll just buy my PS5 games there for the next 3 years of that and have enough space to fit it all.
I just want to point out that I think Antonio was just trying to kill Daniel by saying he turns off all the ray tracing. I think that was an attempted murder. Because the look on poor Daniel's face was like you just shot him through the heart.
I don't care if a puddle on the ground over here reflects the building. I just care if the game runs well, which in this day and age,
it's okay,
is 50-50.
Well, here's the thing: if you don't have a 4K TV, which I assume Antonio does not.
No, that one has 4K.
I can understand. It does.
Yes.
And now Daniel's going to have to hurt
why?
you.
Why?
I don't care about ray tracing. It has done nothing.
Don't. It's okay. It's okay, hubby. Stop shaking. It's okay. It's all right.
I just want fun games. I don't care about realistic graphics.
Let Daniel say his piece before we lose him.
If you don't care about ray tracing, the PlayStation 5 Pro has 2 terabyte SSD.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm considering it. I don't care about graphics at this point. They look good enough. If every single game from here on out was PS4 graphics, I would be set for life. That's all you need.
It's okay, hubby.
It's okay.
It's okay. Everything's okay.
I'm sorry, Daniel.
It's okay. We're having a good civil conversation. It's fine.
That's fine. It's fine if you don't like it or if you don't see the difference. The things I sometimes see on the YouTube comments are way more aggressive, where you just want to be like, why? Why?
I mean, personally, for me, I do not understand why anybody wouldn't want to see, like booty jiggle physics in higher quality. I mean, but that's just me.
Sam, okay, what you do in Grand Theft Auto at the strip club is entirely up to you. But in that game, for example, I'm paying more attention to pew-pews, dodging bullets flying at my head, doing insane stunts, flying my plane around. I'm not staring, zooming in. The detail on this. Yes. That's someone else online.
That was some reenactment too. Those sounds that really sounded very natural. I'm not sure I believe you, but sure.
All I have to say is Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
Those round no edges are very important.
Round.
Yes, very round.
I know those round.
Yeah.
Those extra pixels
I know the round
count.
you're talking about, Daniel.
Daniel, your character needs to be facing forward. Not
Just to
turn
go-
around and facing the character, unless you're looking at a different
Hey,
round.
there's round
I
on the
mean,
front too.
Exactly. There's rounds in the front and in the back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it doesn't really matter which side you're looking at. Like,
There's a party up the front.
Exactly.
And while you're busy staring at that, the enemies get the drop on you and you die.
But you die happy.
Gameplay over graphics. No, that's all I'm gonna say. And art style is fine,
Okay.
but gameplay matters way more.
Alrighty. Okay. So, our final consensus. For those of us who are pro physical, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Half and half.
And digital?
No, I said half and half as well. You know, I feel
Okay,
like
we've got the 50-50s.
Yeah, I feel like we can't go. I feel like we're not at the stage yet where we can either go one way or the other, in my opinion, because I feel like
Okay.
we're sitting at a crossroads where we can still have the option for both, depending on the game and what you're playing.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
but
Good.
I do feel that depending on the system, I think that has to be your choice. If you can go physical,
Okay.
let's say for PlayStation or for your Switch, I feel like you should. But of course, if you have a Steam Deck, or let's say you have an Xbox or a computer, then I feel like digital is probably your better medium now at this stage.
Yeah.
10 years from now, when we are exclusively all digital, I'm just guesstimating PS6, Switch 2 is probably going to be majority, or Switch 3, I guess at that point, is going to be all digital. All I'm needing is them to actually have the systems to support that. Game compression, bigger storage sizes, and hopefully internet infrastructure, and that's a whole different conversation, but that allows for faster downloads. Because there are parts of the world where if you're getting a 100 gigabyte game, you're not playing it day one. You are installing it the entire day before you even get to play.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, honestly, even though I do prefer my physical media, I am also at that stage where I'm kind of almost pretty much 50-50 at this point, in the way that I buy my games, just because of the type of games I play. So yeah, it makes sense. So I totally get it. Is there anything else that we wanted to mention about physical versus digital games media?
Well, there's like two cases I can think of where when the developer actually bothers to put the whole game onto the disc, which actually just happened with Resident Evil, believe it or not. The game is actually on the disc from start to finish. But if you wanted to like circumvent botched updates, which Capcom just did with completely turning off ray tracing in one map, you are actually able to delete your game, delete the botched update, and go back to your physical disc and enjoy the way it was meant to be. And you can't do that with digital. Digital is always the latest version. You're always going to be up to date. So if you wanted to, it's not a big case, but you have that possibility if you wanted to.
But there's not a lot of people who would even think to do that. Like, if you'd have to be really into gaming and knowing what you're doing to know to do that.
Turn off your internet connection. You have to delete, reinstall the entire thing, play it offline so it doesn't automatically force an update the next time you turn on your console. So you have to remember, turn off your internet before you play this specific game if you're in between 3 different games.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Again, that managing minigame, it's too much.
I see that we're going to be making our own game now, Storage Simulator.
Yes.
Where we just have to sort.
How is that not a thing on Steam already?
I know, right?
I'm sure there is.
Yes.
Sort your games now. Too many games on file, you lose. Back to level 1.
Reformat.
That's the game.
Oh boy. Well, that was a really lively discussion. I really enjoyed that. That was really cool. Yeah. For those of you who are listening, if you have your own thoughts about physical versus digital games media, please let us know. You can comment away on Spotify on this specific episode if you would like. You can also, at the moment, you can add us individually on our social medias if you want, or in our Discords. But you can also, I'm pretty sure you can listen to and, well, watch, quote unquote, on the YouTube channel of Sam Dan's Couch, where the podcast itself will be uploaded in video-ish form. It's essentially the podcast audio form, but with a static image. So it'll be there.
Cute little artwork.
So you can comment under that video if you'd like as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you all so much for listening. Little bit of housekeeping before we wrap up the show. If you want to find us, head on over to your podcast service choice. We are on Spotify, as I mentioned before, Apple Podcasts, and all other podcasting services. You can also give us, it would be very much appreciated if you can give us 5-star reviews or ratings on those podcast services. It really will help us boost our podcast up so that other people can listen in. Share the podcast with your friends, those who really enjoy these kind of discussions in pop culture, whether it be gaming, movies, TV shows, all of that. Let them know that this is our little podcast that we do. And and if you do comment or if you do review, we will read them on the show. So we'd really appreciate it. But other than that, that is pretty much it. And now time to plug away. Sam and Daniel, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find us over on Instagram, Blue Sky, our Discord, and our YouTube, which just hit 3,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody.
Yay! Congratulations!
And where can they find our resident demon?
Well, you can scream at me about how graphics are absolutely infinitely better than gameplay. And you can scream at me at all the social medias at BlameAntix. Come either way. I don't care. Koala, where can they find you?
You can find me at Foolish Fuji on Blue Sky and Instagram. I also stream on Twitch at Foolish Fuji. I also have a YouTube channel, Foolish Fuji. But for everything and more, you can head on over to foolishfuji.com, and that's where you'll find all the links to all of my socials and the like. But that is it. Thank you all so much for listening to another episode of Quality Couch Antics, and we will see you again next month. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Do. Welcome to Quality Couch Antics. Do. Quality Couch Antics. A pop culture podcast.